are entering ENC's Pod of Awesomeness.
All right, Jay, I'm not giving you a chance. There's no pad this week. I'm not going to wait for you to jump in. I'm going to take the reins. I'm going to take the wheel. I'm going to take the bull by the goddamn horns because we got a big show. It's going to be a packed show, so I need to tell everybody what's happening this week. This week, you and I, me and you, right. The NC Dynasty, the collective, the whatever we are, the morons that do this show, we're going to talk about bad gimmicks.
Right. And, I mean, we both had our share of bad gimmicks, and we'll get to that a little bit later. It's going to be fun. It's going to be, a little bit of an entertaining talk without just us, swatting the gimmick ball back and forth over the net, and not the Tommy ball, not to be confused with the Tommy ball. We'll get to that at some point too. But speaking of which, we'll have Tommy Dreamer on for Tales from the Indies this week too. So
we'll have Tommy Dreamer on. We will have Tabe. We're going to reveal the name winner for our contest to name our fans. Mm-hmm. We are going to have Jeremy Roenick on to talk about the playoffs.
Right. He's going to tell us if we actually have any effing clue what we're talking about when we talk about hockey. So We'll get it straight from one of the best American-born players of all time.
And first and foremost, here's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. This week, we are going to reveal our first anatomy of a match, which will be next week. Mm-hmm. The Birdman's idea, anatomy of a match. Caca! And do you guys want to know, drum roll, what the match is? This is your suggestion, folks. You guys threw this at us. We took it, went, whoa, we like this one. This could be good because it's one of those classics that isn't talked about much.
It's a little bit of an under-the-radar classic, amazing WWE World Championship match, and it's going to be fun to break it down.
There's a hint. Yes, one of the participants is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
And the other one is Mankind.
Yeah. In Your House Mind Games. This is going to be interesting. So that's next week. We're going to have Shawn Michaels. We're going to have Mick Foley on the show to pick apart this match. Talk nothing but this match.
Right.
I don't know any other podcasts that do it. So this is going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun and different, and just like I said, concentrating on one specific match, breaking it down from the lead up to it to everything that went into it, how things changed during it, whatever it is, we're going to get their take on it, and it's going to be, I think, it's going to be a really cool, fun thing for fans to kind of get in there and see how this whole match was kind of constructed and played out. And I just watched it back recently, and it was better than what I remember. I remember studying it when I was kind of coming up, and then to watch it back, it definitely held up the test of time, and it's definitely a classic in my mind.
That's another thing to talk to them about is how does it hold up? What's the legacy of that just match itself? But that's next week. We got to quit flapping our gums. We got a big show. So without further ado, we're going to talk to Jeremy Roenick about some hockey. All right, folks. So we have Jeremy Roenick.
Yeah.
Greatest American players of all time.
And I guess what we should kind of preface this by is that we're Canadian, so obviously that we automatically think we know everything about hockey. Maybe JR will tell us.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. No
Maybe JR will tell us if we actually know what we're talking about or not. But appreciate you joining us. I know you were on doing the overtime shift last night on the NHL overtime there on NBC Sports, so appreciate you getting up and joining us here.
No problem. Actually, it's not the NBC that's my issue right now. I'm going out to play golf with Cam Atkinson and Max Pacioretty right now. So I have to try to get my game and my mind into the golf game right now, so I can give these guys a good shit kicking on the golf course.
And man, the one thing I've learned about golf is it's so humbling. No matter what kind of mind frame, at least for me, I get into, I still suck.
Well, listen, you know what's crazy about golf? Is you have all these sports like football, you have to run around and catch a ball that's flying through the air. Baseball, you have to hit a ball that's coming at you at 90 miles an hour. Hockey, you have to skate on two, knife edges, knife blades, and get hit and score goals. But in golf, the ball just sits there and it doesn't move, and all you have to do is hit it. And it's just a frustrating goddamn game because
the ball mocks you.
To hit a ball that stands still on a tee, is just as hard, if not harder, than hitting a fastball or catching an end zone pass from Tom Brady. It's goddamn frustrating.
Yeah. I always think it's laughing at me internally. That ball is just looking up at me and they're laughing. I hate it. Damn thing.
That's a great visual.
I actually I saw a little clip on YouTube a while ago, and I mean, you probably could have been a wrestler with this this stunt that you pulled when you chased the alligator into the water when you were golfing. What was that about?
Yeah. I am not afraid of doing stuff that's out of the ordinary. That's stuff that like the most common people wouldn't do. Like I'd catch rattlesnakes on the golf course in Arizona. I'd chase my opponents around, try to get them all freaked out. I tried to grab the alligator.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I do, even though it sometimes seems like I don't have a brain and I'm not very smart when I do stupid things like that, I did meet that alligator a year later.
Really?
Okay. And
Same
I
guy.
realized that alligator that I met a year before was a baby. Because when I met him the next year, this thing was so fucking huge and so massive. I walked up to it like I was going to do the same thing again. Everybody was watching me, right? It was like a big show. And I walked up to the alligator, the same one in the same hole. And this thing was so big that I stopped in my tracks. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Nice talking to you. Have a great day. I turned around, walked back. I'm like, I'm not screwing with that thing this time.
He was he was waiting for the rematch.
It's funny, hockey players and wrestlers have a similar mentality in that pretty much all maniacs on some level.
Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah,
no question about it.
Gator.
Yeah, we don't have all of our screws that are tightened.
They're not tightened. Yeah, they might be there. They're just not tightened in.
Oh, they're there. We know what we're doing. We just don't give a shit what happens to us. That's the problem. They're there. They're just not screwed in tightly.
That's funny, Jared. I have to be honest with you. I grew up in just outside Toronto, so obviously a diehard Leaf fan. Still haven't forgiven you totally for the elimination in 2004 in overtime. But
that's goal of my career. I love it. That's goal of my career. Knocked them out of the playoffs for like 10 years.
I know.
Scored on the fell for.
Crushed the city.
I love playing in Toronto. What town are you from?
I'm from Orangeville. Adam and I are both from Orangeville. It's about 45 minutes north. Yeah. So
I know it. I played hockey there as a kid, so I know it very well. Toronto's one of my favorite cities. Toronto's one of my favorite cities in the world. It's a great place to go. Obviously, the hockey is great, and that's why that goal that you're just talking about meant so much to me.
Yeah.
Because the people in that stadium that night knew exactly how much that goal hurt.
Yeah.
And how much it hurt for years after. So I love that goal.
Well, speaking of that, and fast forwarding to this year, I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of pain being a Leaf fan ever since that goal. And now you fast forward and you think about the draft for the last couple of years with them picking up William Nylander and then getting Mitch Marner at number 4 and then obviously Austin Matthews at number 1 last year. Nobody expected them to make the playoffs this year, myself included. And then they just kind of turned it up, especially down the stretch at the end. Matthews, obviously unbelievable year, 40 goals. But I think the bigger thing is, to me, it's like the savior of the Maple Leafs, maybe the between Montreal and Toronto, the two top franchises in all of Canada. This kid from an unconventional hockey market of Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, is the savior of Canada's team, which I just think is amazing, first of all. And he's lived up to the hype. It's so great to see.
Yeah, I'm really happy because I was in Arizona when he started skating. And myself and Keith Kachuk and Shane Doan had a little influence on him, or a lot of influence. My son actually grew up in the same program as Austin Matthews. My son decided to become a golfer. Austin Matthews continued with hockey. Mm-hmm. But when Austin Matthews was drafted, I was nervous. When Austin Matthews scored 4 goals in the first game, I was nervous.
Right.
Because that is big expectations to live up to. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he had the year that he had and scored 40 goals totally blew me off my expectation list. Totally blew me off of my proud kind of I don't know. I can't say brotherly figure, because it's more like a fatherly figure in terms of being around when this kid started and being a part of the organization that started hockey in Arizona. So there's a very, very close correlation to what he has done and to what I have done. So I couldn't be more proud of him. I couldn't be more proud of Toronto. I think the fact that they made the playoffs this year means that the National Hockey League better be careful and better be aware that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be a team that I think within the next 6 years is going to win a Stanley Cup because of Austin Matthews.
Now, hey, do you think the fact that he does come from an unconventional market, he's an American-born player, he felt less pressure going into this? Because, if you're a Canadian kid, you get drafted first by the Leafs. You know the pressure that comes with that. Do you think he's a little bit removed coming from Arizona? Do you think that helped?
No, absolutely not. This kid's a smart kid.
Yeah.
He knew exactly where he was going. He knew the magnitude of the media. He knew the magnitude of the attention. He knew the magnitude of a first overall draft pick.
Yeah.
And he also knew the magnitude of the competition between him and Patrick Laine. And this kid did nothing but was the ultimate professional all year. And all he did is went to work. And you gotta take your hat off to him. I will tell you this: Austin Matthews is a better hockey player than I thought that he was. And that's saying something, because I knew he was special, but I didn't know he was this special.
Right. We kept hearing Mark Crawford, who coached him last year overseas, saying that this kid's the real deal, and he obviously got a first-hand look at him, and he's justified being taken number one overall. And I think it's funny when people say, well, maybe Laine should be Rookie of the Year. In my opinion,
not a chance.
I don't think so either, because you look at the guys he's playing with, right? He was playing with guys like Scheifele, Wheeler at times, Nikolai Ehlers, guys that were already established NHLers, whereas Matthews was playing on a line for the majority of the season with guys that had just as much experience as him. So to me, he was raising guys up to his level instead of guys helping raise.
Let me tell you something. It's great points. It's great points by you, but let me tell you right now, there is no way, and I will put up as much money as somebody wants to bet me that in the Toronto market, a rookie putting up 40 goals makes the playoffs that doesn't win the Rookie of the Year. I will put up any amount of money to anybody who wants to challenge me on whether Austin Matthews wins the Rookie of the Year this year in 3 weeks at the NHL awards banquet. He is going to. It's going to be a landslide in the Rookie of the Year for Austin Matthews. I don't care what Patrick Laine did. Austin Matthews trumped him by 10 times in a bigger market than what Patrick Laine did.
That's it. Well, it's going to be interesting. I think that he deserves. But let's keep talking about this year's playoffs, because it's been an unbelievable playoffs up to now. And we kind of made a pick 'em before the playoffs started. I had picked as my sleeper team Ottawa, which is looking pretty good right now, and Anaheim to make it to the finals. That was my pick. But now I'm looking at it, and I didn't realize that Nashville was going to be this kind of sneaky good.
Why didn't you call me before the playoffs started for NBC? I could have been like the genius that you are, because I never saw this coming.
I don't know.
Everybody slept on Ottawa.
I don't know. That's what I said too. I always pick, there's always a team that kind of surprises in the playoffs, and just for me, that looked like Ottawa nobody was talking about them, no one was paying attention to them, and they could just go about their business and do their thing. You didn't have to worry about any pressure because nobody was expecting anything from them, and they just kind of took off.
Well, the thing is, they just made the Stanley Cup champions look like an average team.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I did not see that one coming at all.
Yeah. That's why I'm fearful. I'm fearful of Ottawa, and I'm fearful that Nashville is going to be there. You have two ultimate defensive teams that are going to go at it in the Stanley Cup final, and our NBC broadcast ratings are going to plummet to like astronomical like blows. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah, they're the two teams looking at it, and it seems like everybody slept on them, like we talked about. But there's no way I expected Ottawa to do that last night. Who do you think starts the next game?
Since you would think that the Pittsburgh Penguins need a change, and that change would be in goal to kind of change the mojo. But I know Mike Sullivan is a very loyal guy, and he goes with people and guys that get him to places that he needs to, like he did with Matt Murray. Mm-hmm. Like he pulled Matt Murray last year, he put Andre Fleury in, and then the next game put Matt Murray back in. Mm-hmm. It would not be surprising to me, with as well as Marc-Andre Fleury has played in this playoff year, for Mike Sullivan to put Marc-Andre Fleury back in again to try to keep what he's done in the playoffs alive. And that's I think that's the right thing to do, but it'll be interesting to see if he does it.
They're dealing with so many injuries this year, and to key players too. I mean, they got depth, no doubt about it,
and experience.
They do.
They're built.
They
for
do.
It,
but Sidney Crosby is struggling. Malkin is struggling. Their defense is 100% decrepit, and you have a team that is riding on so much adrenaline, riding on a hot goalie, riding on the best defenseman in the game, and I don't know if they can overcome that with playing as many games as Pittsburgh has played over the last 2 years. They're tired, they're beat up, and Ottawa is not. This is all Ottawa's to take, and all Ottawa's to win, and if they lose, it's their own fault.
Mm-hmm. What was your take on Kessel the other night? When the knock on him in Toronto was that he didn't really care or didn't have much emotion, but he was really like fired up, like being very vocal on the bench and that sort of thing. What was your take on that?
Yeah, but that's Kessel. Kessel is not the brightest bulb, on all the lamps in your house. He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. He rolls to his own little beat of his drum, and when he does, he is as good as they get in the playoffs. And he likes it that way. And he'll talk to people. He'll talk to nobody. He'll scream at nobody. He'll have antics. But one thing you can't deny is the guy puts up points in playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I love him. And I think he wants to win. And as long as he wants to win, he's okay in my book.
I've always been a fan of Kessel, actually. And his interview last year where he said his breath... his breath was pretty brutal.
He's holding a grudge at NBC for that when it wasn't our fault, right? Like Jim McGuire asked how his breath was because every time he came to the bench, he was like out of breath.
Yeah,
he was gasping for air. And maybe the question from Pierre came the wrong way, but Bill Kessel totally took it the wrong way and said, "Yeah, it's kind of awful, isn't it?" And he didn't like that afterwards. So
did he not? I thought it was great. I thought it was endearing. I watched that. I was like, I like that guy.
Phil doesn't like to get embarrassed like that. He's a pretty proud guy. So it is what it is.
So what are you thinking out in Nashville and Anaheim? Because Anaheim, man, when they're on, they're on. I mean, an impressive team, but it just seems like they.
Yeah, I said in the beginning of the playoffs that Nashville is the most dangerous team in the playoffs if Pekka Rinne can play well. Pekka Rinne has played well, and they are one win away, I think, from winning the series. Mm-hmm. And I say that because there's no way Anaheim comes back from a 3-1 deficit. So tonight's game is crucial for Anaheim, and I don't think they can overcome what's going on in Nashville.
Yeah, I think that I mean, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, that at some point, your goalie has to kind of steal you a game, and I don't think Gibson has done that in these playoffs yet. Has kind of stolen them a game when it's been tight.
He's probably one of the only goaltenders left in the playoffs that hasn't done that. But we'll see.
All right, thanks for joining us, JR. We know you're about to go knock some golf balls around.
Big money to come out and take some of these NHL guys' contracts away from them. I hope I can do it.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, JR.
All right, boys. Thanks.
See ya.
You're listening to E&C's Pod of Awesomeness.
You can't find the best candidates by posting your job on just one site. Trust me, I've tried it. I've tried to find a new co-host for the show, and it didn't work. You need to post on all the top job sites, and now you can with ZipRecruiter.
You don't have a show without me. At ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100-plus job sites with one click. Then their powerful technology efficiently matches the right people to your position. So maybe I could get the right co-host for this show finally.
You do have the right co-host, Edge. See, when you went to ZipRecruiter, they sent you me. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other job sites, ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. In fact, over 80% of the jobs posted on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just 24 hours.
No juggling emails or calls to your office. Simply screen, rate, and manage candidates all in one place with ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use dashboard.
Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by businesses of all sizes nationwide.
And right now, my listeners can start forming their own winning team on ZipRecruiter for free.
There are listeners, and just go to ZipRecruiter.com/awesomeness.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/awesomeness. Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/awesomeness.
All right, well, it was good to hear from JR and for him to kind of, reaffirm what we already knew, that Canadians pretty much know what they're talking about when it comes to hockey, right?
Yeah, even if you're Canadian, unless you're Lance Storm, you know about hockey. It's in our DNA. It's injected into our bloodstream when we're 3 years old, along with Timbit juice.
Good old Timbit juice. Grew up on it. Still love it today. Whatever that means. Anyway,
I have no idea what. Yeah.
No. But let's get to, because this is big also. We have a winner.
Yeah.
We have a winner in our monthly contest who will get to come on the show with us on May 26th, next Friday. The contest was to name our fan base. And kind of threw it out there, a couple different ideas. Maybe say, hey, it looks good on a shirt, whatever. It's easy, rolls off the tongue. So we have unanimously decided that
But let's just say some of the names that made it into, the final round in our brain pan.
Yeah, we'll give some props.
We got to give some props. Props to the, Mock Maniacs and the Squad of Awesomeness and the 5 Second Posse. And
I like the podcast.
What were the one? You really like that one.
I did like the podcast. You're nuts. I did.
It was. They were all good.
They were all good.
I like chump stains. I like dork chops.
Yeah, they're good. They were straight to the point, but we felt like we needed a little more, maybe a little more.
And I do feel like we need to mention the one that we had seriously talked about, Assholes.
Assholes, yeah.
But a lot of Canadians would assume we're just calling them assholes.
Right.
Because with our accent, a lot of Canadians say assholes. Hey, you're an asshole, eh?
Hey.
What an asshole. They're calling us assholes.
I also kind of like the kazoo animals, because then we could have been like the kazoo keepers.
Yeah. It was a stretch for me.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter now.
But we're still going with the Canadian theme. We're still going with the Canadian theme for our winner. Would you like to do the honors, Birdman?
I would love to do the honors. So the winner, the name of our fan base will be known as, wait for it, the 5 Second Hosers.
Yeah.
There it is.
Given to us by DJ No Skills.
That's a great name, by the way.
But you have a skill. Mm-hmm. You just named a podcast show fan base. So there's a skill right there. So you can't be DJ No Skills anymore. You got to come up with a different handle for yourself now. But apparently that's a strong suit for you.
DJ Some Skills.
We should also DJ Some Skills.
Yeah.
We should explain to our fan base in England and Great Britain and Ireland and Scotland, because you guys are there for us every week to a large degree, and we aren't looking past you. So what we do want to do is explain what a hoser is very briefly, and you can now be an honorary hoser even though you're not Canadian.
Right. So basically, like a hoser would be, can you say like a Canadian redneck? Kind of?
Well, yeah, but redneck has such a negative connotation. But a hoser is a guy who probably really likes hockey and beer and wears a lot of plaid.
It's kind of like a Canadian good old boy, right? Like Canadian good old boy would be a hoser.
Yeah, even a good old boy can sometimes have a negative connotation. I don't even want to say that. I want to say he's just a dude. He's the Big Lebowski. He's the dude. That's what he is. Hosers are the dude. And if you don't like the dude, then I probably don't like you. So look at it that way, guys. You guys are like the Big Lebowski.
Right.
Come on, what's not to like?
Go look at some
You're the
Bob and Doug
5-second
McKenzie.
hosers. Take pride in it, man. Wear that name tag high. Fly the flag. Let it go. You're the 5-second hosers. CJ, what I'm doing right now, and I don't think they can hear this, this is the motivational speech. This is my Vince Lombardi. This is to get them on board to want to be 5-second hosers. Do you see
I just
what I'm
want to tell you
doing?
this. It's working because I just went through on my toque, and I got a beer in my hand right now.
Nice. All right. So there it is, folks. You're all 5-second hosers.
All right, so DJ No Skills, be by your phone, by your device, by your email, whatever it is, because you're coming on the show May 26th. DJ No Skills, every DJ Some Skills.
What if he uses like a carrier pigeon for his, way to
Wait by the window.
Converse
That's all
with
you can
folks.
do. Wait by the window.
Right? Okay. All right, DJ Some Skills. Next week, May 26th, you will be on the show. And now that we've cleared that up, now that the hosers are all on board with this, I think it's now time to talk to someone who is clearly a hoser, although he probably doesn't realize it because he lives in Yonkers, New York. But that is one Sir Thomas Dreamer.
Tommy.
Tales from the Indies.
Tell us about the grind this weekend. Tell us about some tales from the Indies, Tommy. What happened?
Tubby.
Where's the big
Well,
one?
this week
Hello,
I
Tubby.
started my journey
Tubby,
very
hello.
early with what?
Hello, Tubby. Tubby.
Hello, how are you?
I miss you.
Were you on for our conversation?
I was not.
Well, he took it off to go do something, but we'll keep that in there just to show what an unprofessional he is.
Shows how he's always so on the ball for everything.
Yeah.
So, my day
Tommy,
started on
I had my-
Saturday early.
I had my pool
2
resurfaced,
flights,
Tommy.
6 a.m. flight to the big one in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And as you know, because I sent you guys the promo, I thought I was in for it because I was facing Hank the Hobo, who may now become my favorite independent wrestler
Tommy, hold on a
of all
sec.
time.
Tommy, hold on a sec. Do we have the audio of that?
I can get it for you.
Tommy Dreamer, former ECW heavyweight champion of the world, the former WWE hardcore champion. This Saturday night, live in Albuquerque, challenging Hobo Hank for the DWO heavyweight championship belt. Now, Tommy, I've followed your career for years, my friend, and I have all the respect in the world for you. You've done it all. And I consider it an honor to step into the ring and defend this championship against you. A little word of advice to you: I'm not going to go down easy, because this belt means the world to me, and you're going to have to take me out to get it. The fans in Albuquerque are in for a real treat, and some are calling it the matchup of the century. All I can say is be there, because Tommy, it's time.
My favorite part is, first of all, you're going to have to take him out, but he's not going to go down easy.
No.
And also, it's time. Just very simple, straight to
Yep.
the point, very calm, collected. Hobo Hank. Although I was a little disappointed that Hobo Hank is clean shaven.
Right.
He doesn't look like a hobo.
I said it as soon as I met him. I said, dude, why are you still a hobo if you're a champion?
Right?
And then
And-
he told me I choose to live this lifestyle.
And if he's a hobo, how does he get his paychecks?
OW Championship. What is it?
DWO,
Okay.
Destiny Wrestling Organization, I believe.
Okay. So fill us in.
Match of the century or
So,
what?
2 flights, and my body has really been hurting me when I get on airplanes more so than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And my first flight was at 6, so I think I had about 2 hours of sleep. And then went to Minnesota, got upgraded to first class, which
Nice.
now I get to throw my diet out of the way because they're going to feed me and I have to eat it because it's free, and I have to get whatever they put in front of me and eat it because that's how I feel. And then landed, went to the hotel, slept for about an hour, and then I went to the building. For me, it's cool because I only wrestled in Albuquerque, New Mexico twice. The original ECW was never there. So the fans will always tell me cool stuff about ECW, how they would watch it. And the first time I went there, it was a lovely, horrible match against Raven for 6 minutes. And I was just like, ugh. That was like in 2001 or 2. And then the next time I went back in the WWE's version of ECW, which was a little different. But I like to hear all the stories that fans get to tell me during meet and greets. And then, by the way, they have local television there. So I had to do promos. They're very, very organized. And, a lot of times, if you put up the link, you judge a book by its cover and you say, ugh, I'm in for a rough night with Hobo Hank, because I didn't think he was a talented enough wrestler, and like, what did I get myself into? And he was a lot of fun, and he was real easy. And we were gonna, as babyface guys, those are hard ones. When
they're hard to do. Those are hard to do.
The indies to tell a story, especially for the local guy. But he was super duper popular in his hometown, and we had a really, really fun, good match. And he beat me with the spinning DDT, brother. And
Whoa,
Tommy. Then there was some. Originally, they wanted a double disqualification because they were going to have this heel faction come at me, and I said, no way, I'm putting Hobo Hank over. Because while I was doing my meet and greets, I walked past his gimmick table, and not only did I get his 8x10, I have his, he sells ladies' tank tops and underwear with his face on the crotch area.
Yeah.
And Hobo Hank is quite the stud muffin in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So he traveling the world, he gets some tail. I like him. And
Hobo.
Then we got, he won, he got jumped by the heel faction.
Yeah.
And the manager was trying to convert me to turn to his stable. And he held up Hobo Hank. And, I really first contemplated, I don't even really know this guy. Should I save him and risk my own health by getting jumped by this heel faction?
Yeah.
But then I swerved it because it was outnumbered. And then I said, give me your, he had a ring that went across all fours of his fingers that said heels with a Z.
Whoa, brother.
And I told him to give it to me. And the beauty of it all, the fans actually thought that Tommy Dreamer, who's never, ever turned on anybody, was going to turn on Hobo Hank. That's how much they really did like Hobo Hank. And then as the two heels were holding him up, I turned and I punched the one. And then he gave the spinning DDT to another guy. And then one of his vintage maneuvers is the bite to the forehead, Pit Brother, and then Pity City, because we all know hobos smell. So the manager, he was going to do that to him, who he's been bothering Hobo Hank for quite some time, I was told. But then Hobo Hank spun him to me, and I bit him, and I gave him the Hobo Pity City.
Because everyone knows that you stink.
Tommy, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You're saying that Hobo Hank has women's undergarments for sale, and you said he's kind of like he has a way with the women there in Albuquerque. What if he had like a cardboard box mansion? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like a hobo mansion?
He did have a sign that said, "We'll wrestle for food."
Yeah.
And we did. We wrestled for about 14 minutes. I would like if he had a cardboard mansion. It would nothing be as nice as any of your mansions with Dreamland South that you have.
That's right.
But Hobo Hank I had a lot of fun.
So
Really
bottom line is Hobo Hank is over with Tommy Dreamer and over with the good folks of Albuquerque. And while he lives on the mean streets of Albuquerque, he's learned a spinning DDT like under a bridge or something.
You never know what happens. Those hobo, maybe he was in those bum fights from back in the 90s.
Yeah. And you could use the cement girder as the stepping point for the spinning DDT. See, we just created a backstory for this guy.
Right.
We're creative geniuses.
That's what we do. Are you listening, Hobo Hank?
He is. I told him that he is my favorite independent wrestler, and I said I sent his promo to Edge and Christian and to Road Dogg because I was trying to get the match. I figured WrestleMania in New Orleans, main meet and main event. It's what everyone has been waiting for. And
Yeah.
to steal Vader's line, it's time.
Yep.
And he was just like, how can we not book that? That's what Road
It's
does.
hobo
So
time.
I think there's something pressing in the back burners for Tommy Dreamer and Hobo Hank for WrestleMania. Just
Well,
keep
plus
that on
with-
the download.
With on the download, we just said it on a podcast, but I don't think anybody listens anyway, so we're
No.
good. The good thing with New Orleans is it's a warm climate, so that tends to have a lot of let's say drifters,
Right.
because hobo could be derogatory. So you might have a good fan base for old Hank.
It's a straight shot on the rails, brother. If you get from Albuquerque to whatchamacallit.
You ride
New
the
Orleans.
rails like Kerouac, are you? Huh? You a Dharma bum? Look at you.
By the way, I
okay.
also did not know that it got cold in Albuquerque because I figured it was New Mexico, which
Right.
is supposedly
Yeah.
better than the old Mexico. And I did not bring a jacket to New Mexico, and I was rather cold, and I found out it even snows in New
It
Mexico.
snows there. It snows there,
I didn't know
Tommy.
that.
Tabby.
Tommy.
Tommy. I have a question for you, Tabby.
Due diligence, Tommy.
Is Hobo Hank, is he House of Hardcore worthy?
Meanwhile, I don't even hear the question because someone was calling it,
I said,
but
is Hobo
your
Hank...
inflection just made me laugh. One more time, please.
I said, is Hobo Hank House of Hardcore worthy?
I think Hobo Hank could become camp legendary with the help of the ENC podcast of Awesomeness because he's awesome. I do.
That's
I
right.
love him.
I'm glad you had a good experience this week, Tommy. Makes me feel happy. Makes me feel very happy. Because I'm the
There
only one who likes to bring
sounds
you
like
misery.
there's no sincerity in that, Jay.
Well, I'm the
I
only
actually
one who likes
think
to
you're
bring Tommy
upset that
misery.
Tommy had a good weekend.
No, I'm
because
not.
You seem to thrive when he has a hard weekend. You like the fact that he was sore from the plains, but then you got upset because he upgraded to first.
Right. Something else he said.
He's totally mad about that.
Something else
Yeah.
he said reminded me of something, Tommy. I had once had a 4-finger ring myself back in high school.
You did.
I did. I bought it in downtown Toronto, and I thought I was really cool. And I wore it to school, and my science teacher was like, "Why do you have brass knuckles on?" I'm like, I don't. It's a 4-finger ring, and it's really cool. And he's like, "I think you need to go see the principal." They almost suspended me, had to call my parents, and they confiscated my 4-finger ring, brother.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish, as close as friends that we three of us are, I wish I went to school with you because I was the total wrestling kid, and I could just I know what adult Christian was like, so I would love to hang out with him as high schoolers because he would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he was this short, chubby, yet still had the long stork legs.
Yeah.
But his upper body was all of an inch.
Yeah.
He was all legs and yet chubby. And I was the opposite. I was a beanpole. And we were the wrestling guys too.
Yeah. Tommy.
Yeah. Tommy.
Yeah, I had some in high school, but it wasn't not so many. But man, I would have loved to have been around there. And then if when we're recording this, my show will have already passed the big one, the real big one, House of Hardcore 26 in Long Island.
This is dropping in the morning, so people could feasibly listen to this and then go, "Man, I'm
I'm going to that
tonight
show tonight."
to House of
Stop
Hardcore."
yelling at me.
I'm trying to
It's in
help you.
St. James. I appreciate it. St. James, New York, the big one, brother. Tommy Dreamer versus Cody Rhodes, Bubba Koresh, Bubba Ray Dudley coming back to Long Island versus EC3, the Spirit Squad,
Nice.
or how I have to call them, the Squad Without Spirit. Thank you, WWE. Will take on Team Tremendous, who is awesome. And the Moose will be there. A whole
Moose? I've
slew
seen
of
that
others.
kid. Okay.
It'll be one hell of a
Who's Team-
show. I worked
who's
really,
Team
really
Tremendous?
hard to put this show on, and we're doing good. And after this, I'm going to
Awesome.
Australia, brother.
Ooh, House of Hardcore is worldwide. Who's Team Tremendous? I don't know this team of tremendousness.
Team Tremendous is a wrestler named Dan Barry, who has been around for a long time and as athletic as anyone I've ever seen. He was trained by Mikey Whipwreck, and he helped train like Tony Nese and all those guys. And his tag team partner is Bill Carr, who is wrestling's greatest kept secret because he was in the developmental system. He was let go. He is like the big boss man. He does dives over the top rope. He does Canadian destroyers. He works a big man style. He can drop kick. He can move. And unfortunately, I love him. I use him on all my House of Hardcore shows. But after he was let go by WWE NXT, he was kind of down. He also he got himself a good job. So his dates are limited because of his good job. But he's somebody that if WWE used this team properly, there would be huge money. They are Enzo and Cass that are better workers than the two of them, and that's not a slight on the two of them, but that's how good they are.
Tommy.
Huh. There we go. Tommy.
I will send you every House of Hardcore DVD, brother, and you could look at them all.
Okay, Tommy. I will. I'll do my homework. I'll do my due diligence, unlike you doing your due diligence for not knowing that there's snow in New Mexico. Sorry, I was off on a little tangent. Yeah, it's the coffee talking.
And you can get all the action on houseofhardcore.net. Watch it on FlowSlam.
There it is. There's all your info on House of Hardcore, folks.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, as always, for having me and keeping me relevant in my world of indies. I love you guys.
Bye, Tommy. Love you.
See ya.
Tommy.
All right, Tommy. Thank you, Tommy.
Tommy.
We should just do a podcast of just saying Tommy for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, you think that'd get a lot of downloads, do you?
I think it would. I think people like to hear that.
I think they enjoy it. I don't know about 2 hours of that, but we can give it a shot. See what the hosts
We can always
think.
test it out. We can always test it out. But I guess we should get to the meat of the show, huh?
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had the garnish. We've had the mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. We've had the collard greens. We've had the asparagus.
The tofu.
The tofu. Chicken fried tofu, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you do chicken fried tofu? Can you do that?
You can, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it here at Whole Foods.
I'm not sure how good of a gimmick that is. Oh, you see what I did there?
On that note, shall we?
We shall.
How was your week there, bud?
I'm not there, buddy. Turned a little Canadian there, eh?
I did.
How you doing there, bud? Little known fact, that when you first started wrestling, unbeknownst to you, you were introduced from Newfoundland, and the whole crowd was chanting, "Come on, Noof! Come on, Noof!" Because in Canada, people from Newfoundland are affectionately known as Noofies.
Goofy Noofies. And we mean that in a good way.
Right.
Because everybody from Newfoundland I've met, and I can actually say everyone that I've met from Newfoundland has been awesome.
Yeah, they're super cool, like down to earth, funny. Yeah.
And goofy.
Right.
But, I remember that. I was wrestling Johnny Swinger in a bar in Toronto.
I was in Brampton.
I thought it was Toronto. I thought it was the one off of King Street there.
No, I think it was at Rose Inn or something. It was in Brampton. I know that.
It was a dump either way.
It was bad. I remember how mad you were.
Well, yeah. I was just like, really? They're going to think, like, what's my gimmick? I'm a fisherman?
Huh.
I mean, who wants a gimmick of being a fisherman?
You're a long-haired noof, bud.
Which kind of brings me to today's topic. See what I did?
I gave you the platform to lead into it, so
we're going to talk about bad gimmicks.
Yeah.
And I was worried that I was going to be a fisherman. Bob Sexton, the fisherman.
Right. You could have worn a slicker to the ring, like a sequin slicker.
Yeah, and I could have had a bedazzled hook.
Yeah.
And when the referee turned their back, I could have got the hook out, brother.
Or just captured him in the net, brother.
Yeah. And then pinned him while he was flailing in the net like a fish.
Yeah. And then you hooked them by their gill and dragged them out of the ring to the back.
And then skinned them alive and ate them.
I smell money.
Is that too much?
No. I don't think it's enough.
Oh, man.
And I feel like that gimmick wasn't explored enough.
You think?
Yeah.
You think that could have gone somewhere, huh?
Yeah.
Well, hey, if I were in the WWF in the 1980s or early 90s, there's a good chance that would have been thrust upon my my weary little head.
Right. There is a good chance of that. Hey, well, let me ask you a question. Did you ever have to do any, like, before WWE or even in WWE? Because, like, I don't think you can classify the Brood as a dumb gimmick. I think it was pretty cool, if I do say so myself.
That's pretty badass.
I had a couple little ones before I kind of made it big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember I was a male nurse at one point? Do you remember that?
Fondly, actually.
Yeah. I was wrestling for IWA in Winnipeg, run by one Tony Condello, and at the time, the Natural Don Callis. And, they hadn't seen me wrestle. I was very green, very new. I think I'd had like 4 matches at the time, but I wanted to come out there. And he had this idea to do this tag team, because ER was hot at the time, and like Chicago Hope and all those medical shows. So he wanted to do a tag team called ER, and he wanted to have some big, giant, crazy-looking orderly and name him Early Orderly. And then he wanted the kind of more the smaller guy that took the heat. He wanted him to be the male nurse. So that was me. And they said you can come out and do this tour if you're the male nurse. And I was trying to get some matches on tape so I could, pass around to promoters and stuff. You did that a lot back then. You kind of passed out or sent people your tape so they could see you and things like that.
VHS.
So, what's that?
VHS.
Yeah, put the 2 VCRs together and record them, brother. We were high tech.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a episode sometime about the technology in wrestling and how it's advanced.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I just came up with that right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay,
Anyways.
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So, I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I'll come out and do that. But I just want to have at least one match as myself so I can get it on tape, which he agreed to and actually ended up wrestling
Johnny Smith, wasn't it?
No, it's Lance Storm.
Oh, okay.
Ended up wrestling, yeah. So I went out and did this tour, and it was me and this 6'8" guy. He was like 360 pounds. This guy from Basher. This guy from British Columbia, and he looked insane. But they put a mask on him, and it was like skin tight. It looked like it was about to burst off at the seams. And I wore a floral mask that I think was homemade. And they gave it to me, and I put it on, but it just looked really weird. And I have a small head anyway, so it looked like I had this little pea head on top of these smocks that I was wrestling in. And so to make it a little more interesting, I cut holes in the top, and I made ponytails. And I pulled ponytails out the top of the mask. And so that's how I became the male nurse.
And let's just briefly talk about how dated that is.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that now?
I know, right?
No, because like a nurse is just a nurse. It's not like a male nurse or a female nurse. It's a nurse.
Yeah, but back then in
90s.
the early 90s, like, dude, you're a nurse, and it's if you're a guy, like it was kind of strange at the time for guys to be.
It was somehow derogatory. Well, right. For any male nurses listening out there, I'm with you guys.
We commend you.
Yeah. Yeah, male nurse. I don't remember. I got pretty lucky in terms of that, on the independents. I had Adam Impact I figured that was like my Lex Luger. That was my, Hulk Hogan. That was my name like that. I was like, Adam Impact. Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue. People love it.
And it sounds like a real name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Adam Impact, and I was, if I wrestled for Tony, he didn't announce it properly anyway. Yeah. I was Adam Impacted. Yeah. I was Adam Impact. I was a Circle Lurka dude, which was supposed to be a surfer-looking dude. And then the only time that I can think of is when we went out to Grand Prix Wrestling in the Maritimes, and when I first got there was posters made, and I was Sensational Bob Sexton.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But that's as bad as it got for me, was Sensational Bob Sexton. And some people would say Sexton Hardcastle is no good. I say it's the greatest name ever. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I was the male nurse, and I became the male nurse, and I embraced it. Had a lot of fun with it, actually. And I think they were just kind of throwing it on the show, but then it started getting good reactions on the tours we were doing, and they were shooting TV and all that stuff. So we actually ended up being like one of the main spots on their show, which was pretty cool, actually, and it was fun to do something like that.
Yeah, well, you ended up working a program with myself and Chi Chi Cruz,
right?
And we didn't have a tag team name, so we just called ourselves the Barking Spiders.
Yeah.
And who was the other tag team? I think it
I
was
wanted
Tim
you guys
Flowers.
I wanted you guys to call yourselves the Way Outs.
The Way Outs, that's right. And we did a little dance. We did call ourselves The Way Outs sometimes. And then the other tag team was Just Joey Legend and Diamond Timothy Flowers.
Yeah.
In that little three-way fiasco.
Yeah. That was, it was an interesting time.
Good point.
Right.
Well, you know what I can tell you? I can tell you about a bullet that I dodged early in my WWF career.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this.
You do? Well, let me explain for the people that don't. Because there's other people listening, Jay, we hope.
It could just be you and I. So.
It might be. And Mega Matt, our producer.
Yeah, he's there somewhere.
He's kicking around somewhere in the background. We'll get to him later. We'll bring him on when we run out of bad gimmicks.
We'll give the kid a rub.
Yeah. That could be taken the wrong way.
Well, in wrestling terms, it means that we're gonna.
Yeah, maybe we just need to clarify that.
We're gonna raise him up a level, bring him up to our level.
There we go. So, first come in WWF. I'm at the Funkin' Dojo, along with a bunch of other people: Takuma Shinoku, Ahmed Johnson, Tiger Ali Singh, Baldo, God, A-Train. He's just smaller than me. Draws, Sean Stasiak, like a bunch of guys that they didn't have anything for, or they wanted to see if there was anything for, or people like Taka, there was the language barrier, things like that. So, but also there was Sean Morley, a.k.a. Val Venus. And we had a good week. I was already signed. Val wasn't. He was wrestling as Steel down in CMLL, I believe, and I think he was the heavyweight champ at that point. But I don't know, we'd known each other and just knew that something was going to happen. So the end of the week, they said, okay, we got to get you guys rolling, but we have an idea. We want to make you the new Midnight Express. Now, Midnight Express, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. However, anything new in wrestling, whether it's
the new foundation from the new
foundation, the new Rockers, the new Midnight Express, which they eventually went with, and no commentary on Bob Holly and Bart Gunn.
No.
But you're dead in the water before it even starts. Because if something has been good enough that an office feels that a new can be attached to it, that means that it's not going to be duplicated.
Right.
There's not going to be a new Undertaker.
Well, the thing too, it's like and they did try that, right, with the fake Undertaker thing. But
yeah.
The thing is, like you said, the Midnight Express were regarded as and there was incarnations, but there was always an original member that was there.
Yeah.
So I think Bob Eaton was pretty much the mainstay throughout.
And we would have had Jim Cornette, so that would have been the unifying thing. But still, I think you need someone in ring to be that go. Okay, that's the lineage there. I get it.
Yeah.
And I think Sean and I could have made a hell of a team. I just don't think we would have as the new Midnight Express.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it would have been better overall for them to bring in, not saying even if it was not you guys, but bring in two fresh new guys that nobody had ever seen before and call them the new Midnight Express, or use guys that were already established like Bart and like Bob Holly?
Honestly, probably two new guys.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it, because then there's only the aspect of the name as a repackage, as opposed to like you're repackaging two guys that they've already seen and kind of already know. So it's like, okay, well, they're trying this on them now.
And at that point, too, it already had a couple other incarnations of characters.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
But, but it didn't happen. And look at you now. You had
now
a
look
decent
at me.
career. You had a decent career.
I did okay.
Yeah. I remember I had
that seems harsh.
I had almost in WWE. This is pretty funny, actually. So I had been doing, The Rock had just started out going off and doing movies and stuff like that. And
I heard he had an okay career, too.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right for himself, from what I understand. But he was starting to go off and do some movies, so he was taking extended periods of time off. So he was doing a little thing with Goldberg. And I can't remember exactly how it came about, but they kind of slotted me in to kind of be Rock's spokesman had a little one-on-one backstage meeting with The Rock, and he had kind of anointed me like his favorite wrestler and trying to pump me up and this kind of thing, unbeknownst to me that he was trying to basically get me to take a bullet for him with Goldberg was the backstory on it, right? So, so when he wasn't there, I was kind of doing his talking as The Rock's favorite wrestler. I took it upon myself to go out and do The Rock's work for him.
Yeah.
So, I started calling myself, the kind of like I'd been anointed by The Rock and all these sorts of things. And so one day I get home and I get this call, and they're like, "Hey, they kind of wanted you to do this thing where you kind of like think you become The Rock." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, so you basically, we want you to kind of do the eyebrow thing, maybe get your hair cut real short." And I had like long hair at this point. And wait, did I? Yes, I did. He goes, "Wait, we'll get your hair cut really short, and The Rock kind of wears black, so you'll wear white, and you're going to use all his catchphrases, and you're going to act like The Rock, and you're going to pretend you're The Rock, and you're going to be The Rock, but we're not going to call you The Rock." And I was like, "Okay."
They're call you the Boulder, like
no, they were going to call me. Are you ready for this? Wait for it. Wait for it.
Okay.
They were going to call me The Lock.
Wow.
The Lock, The Lock.
Yeah.
Because anytime I went to the ring, it was a lock I was going to win.
The pregnant silence after you said that.
Yeah.
And I don't know this story, so that was just a legitimate dumbfoundedness on my part.
So I'm surprised I never told you this before. And I was so stressed that whole week. And I was like, and I tried to explain to him, I was like, look, it's same thing. It's bad enough when, this guy's like the biggest superstar on our roster. You can't imitate the original and expect it to work or people to care about it. I said, it's going to come off as that. And people aren't going to, they get the whole thing that I'm his kind of,
It would have worked for like 2 weeks.
Right.
It would have got laughs for 2 weeks, and then what do you do?
Yeah. So anyways.
Because Rock's going to be fine.
So I guess what happened was somebody had pitched it on one of the plane rides, and Vince like, "Oh, that's great, haha," and he laughed at it. And then so I was talking to Brian about it, and
that is.
It wasn't his idea, but he's like, "Look, he likes it. This is what's going to happen." Blah blah blah. And I kind of pled my case to him, and he was like, "So I remember it was like Friday, right before I was going back on the road Saturday. So he called me Friday afternoon. I see his number. I'm like, oh man. So I answered, and he's like, "Hey, just want to give you a quick call. Good news." I was like, "What's that?" He's like, I guess, Vince kind of heard it in the room instead of somebody pitching it to him on the plane. And he's like, "What? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We're not doing that." So,
the difference being is that there was probably no wine present.
Right.
In the meeting, but there was on the plane.
Yeah. So,
but I got to backtrack just real quickly because this stuck with me, and it's a minor point but makes no sense. So you're supposed to be just like The Rock. Everything is exactly the same, except they want you to wear white,
right,
instead of black.
Mm-hmm.
What? Why?
I don't know. Because I guess I have blonde hair.
He
has
dark
dark hair.
Guy, and
I have no idea.
Half black and
no
wears
idea.
black. Like what?
No idea. That's
there you go. There you go.
Right. Well, I guess it didn't really get past the, past first base, but I said,
it might have made it to second. You know what? It got tagged out at second. That's what happened.
It was rounding first.
Yeah.
It was rounding first.
Yeah. It jumped too soon.
Yeah.
Thought it could make it. No dice.
Yeah.
That's one of those
ones where you try not to take. You just try to go home and enjoy your few days off and not take your work home with you. But it stresses you out all day long, and that's all you think about. And you're like, "Oh my god, I can't be The Lock." What am I supposed to do? Like wear, Jeez, that was brutal.
Well,
The Lock.
There's been far worse than that, though.
There has been.
Yeah, and the gobbledygooker.
I know.
That's the one that always.
I think that's a classic.
But I also love it.
Yeah, I think the problem with the gobbledygook. I think the problem with the gobbledygooker is there was such a build up to it that it was like there was that thing. I think even at time this is even before the internet, but there was I remember people. There's a buzz going on. This is going to be the Undertaker. This is going to be,
and the egg was cracking.
And it's this is going to be something big. It's going to be huge. I was hoping it'd be someone like Manny Fernandez or something, but
really, Manny Fernandez, huh?
I just threw that out there.
Okay. That seems really random.
Yeah, I know.
Raging bull and an egg. Got
Right.
it.
But but it's I think there was just such a long build up to week after week after week after week, and then it popped out. I think they were expecting something really huge, not like a dancing turkey.
A dancing turkey for Survivor Series to signify that it takes place on Thanksgiving. My favorite part of all of that was Roddy Piper's reaction.
Yeah.
Listen to the kids. They love them.
it.
And there was crickets.
Yeah.
You could have heard a flea fart. Like it was dead silence, and Piper's trying to salvage something.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of gimmicks,
the Gooker. Yeah.
Speaking of gimmicks,
Uh-huh.
maybe we should get Mega Matt on the line here. See if he's got any ideas. Because I mean, he's a little bit of a fan. I'd say he's more like a Mark. But
I mean, we could call you Mega Mark from now on.
Mega Mark's fine. Yeah, sure. I'll take either. I mean,
Mega
Mark,
Mark.
Matt, it's all close, and I am sort of a Mark. So
BB Matt the Mega Mark.
We all are.
Matt the Mega Mark, yeah.
There you go. That's a handle. See,
That is
that's a good gimmick.
I'm going to change my Twitter to that.
Are you?
There you go.
I think I probably should.
Yeah, I think you need to now.
I think your 15 followers will be very happy you did.
Yeah, my mom, a couple of my cousins. It's gonna be electric.
Yeah.
Your cousin Bryce.
Oh yeah.
Over in Milwaukee.
Bryce
Very
is gonna
happy.
lose it once
Yeah.
I get on there with that name.
Speaking of gimmicks, we should talk about Bryce. Adam.
I think he lives in Fond du Lac, right?
Fond du Lac?
I don't know. It's the first thing that popped into my head. Oh, Bryce. No, I'm not getting into Bryce.
All right.
And your character choices. So, well, now I have to.
Yeah.
So, Jay was coming on to this show that I was involved in called Haven, and he was being, what was the name of your character anyway?
Mike McHugh.
Mike McHugh.
Yeah.
Dan McHugh. And he had decided that the character is named Bryce.
Yeah.
And it was Bryce McHugh? Was that?
Bryce McHugh, yeah. And I was just like, Bryce just sounds much cooler than Mike. And it started off as like a joke, and I was, they sent me the scripts ahead of time, obviously, so I could learn my lines on it, sort of thing. And I remember reading them, and I told my wife that. I was like, I feel like this guy should be Bryce, not Mike. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to call the producers and the director and all that. I'm going to tell them that I feel like this guy should be Bryce. And she's like, you can't do that. And I had her totally, like, worked into thinking that I was actually going to call, people that had never met me before and just say, this character doesn't work like this for me. It's not Mike. I'm Bryce. And so she was so
like
mad.
It makes a difference at all.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So that's how the Bryce joke became, what it is.
Bryce
because she
McHugh.
oversold it. And, you and I, and then I ended up giving him a Cockney accent at one point, too.
The Lock, Bryce McHugh.
Yeah. The Luck of Bryce McHugh. That wasn't even Cockney.
I don't know what that was.
I
What
don't know
was
what
that?
that
Was
was.
that was supposed to be Cockney?
No. This is the Cockney one, eh?
You are horrible.
I think that was the same one.
It didn't change.
Anyways. Bad gimmicks.
Wow.
It wasn't really a bad gimmick. It was just gimmick change.
Yeah, anyway. So, hey, so this is what I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong. The first gimmick, Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
Right?
And the thing is, too, it's like, really talk about pushing the envelope for the time period and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the flamboyance that and he went from just like, I think he was an undercard guy. I think he was trying to think of something that could, resonate with the audience, that they would grasp onto and remember him. And look at him, became one of the most memorable, most famous characters and performers of all time in the wrestling business.
He was the most watched television star in the 1950s, if I'm not
insane.
mistaken.
I don't think you are mistaken.
You think I'm right?
I think you're right.
Yeah. I got a steel trap up here, man.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of useless stuff.
Right. Yeah, so
Like,
look at gimmicks go all the way back to
the 1950s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insanity.
But that was a successful one.
Right.
I mean, that there's no arguing that. lot of, and I want to talk about some of the unsuccessful ones. I
Yeah,
mean, we can
those are the
talk
ones.
about some that on paper seem unsuccessful, but ended up being successful. But I
Right.
mean, I got to talk about like T.L. Hopper.
Yeah, well, I mean
Like,
that time, like early '90s, and this is probably the time that Matt the Megamark watched.
Yeah.
That's right.
Was like, I mean, it seemed like it was a time of not only bad gimmicks, but it was a time of occupational bad gimmicks, right?
Yeah.
Where guys were like, they just kind of moodlet, like we have
Not really
regular
wrestlers.
jobs,
We
but in
don't
our
make enough wrestling.
Yeah.
So we have to moonlight as a garbage man.
Or I love my job so much as a repo man, I'm not willing to give it up. I'm going to come wrestle when I have time. I'm not going to have time to train, but I do run a lot and break into cars and drive them and take them back to their rightful owners. And
Okay,
then
but
when I have time, I'm going to wrestle.
Out of
Right.
that glut of bad, occupational gimmicks, Repo Man was my favorite.
Repo is the best. I mean, he
Repo
came
was
out-
by far the best.
And there was even the music was Repo, man.
And then he
came out.
snuck out.
And he's like looking around, making sure no one was following him. And he had the mask on with the tire treads, like he'd been run over by a car, like he was trying to repo one, and somehow it went wrong, and he got run over.
To make sure nobody could see him as he walks into an arena full of 20,000 people.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I did love me some Repo Man, but a horrible gimmick. But that's an instance of, you take a guy who was Crusher Khrushchev, who was then Demolition Smash,
Right.
and you repackage him as the Repo Man, and the guy still tried to make something of it.
Right.
Like, he still did what he could with that.
Right.
But how do you think that meeting goes?
Yeah.
Like, how do you think you sit down a guy who has been, like, one half of your longest reigning tag team champs at that point, who has made you a lot of money and kind of has been the cornerstone of the tag team division for basically 2 or 3 years in a very stacked tag team division, and
Yeah.
go, all right, so
I think
Demolition has run its course,
Right.
but we were thinking,
Well, I think it's one of those ones too. Like they said, they were gearing to more towards the younger audience at that point, and it could have just been something like, "Hey, we're gearing to a younger audience. We're going more cartoon based characters. This is what we're thinking. This is what we got for you. If not, we don't have anything for you." I don't know how it went, but it could have been something like that.
yeah. Well, and so at that point you had Repo Man, you had what other one? You had the Goon,
Well, they also had Sparky Plug.
Bob Sparky Plug, yeah. But he was Sparky Plug initially.
He was Thurman Sparky Plug.
Thurman Sparky
He was,
Plug.
"Hi, I'm Thurman Plug. Well, my friends, they call me Sparky."
Yeah, I mean, and especially knowing Bob, how do you think Bob, I mean, he's probably like at a certain point like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I race cars, so I guess that's why they're giving me this.
Yeah. I remember him telling the story. I had a conversation with him once, and he was telling the story, and he was like, it was hard because he was laughing so hard when he was telling the story, and he was like crying. He was laughing so much when he was telling me the story about how the Sparky Plug name, and he was even reciting the, "Hi, I'm Thurman Plug. My friends, well, they call me Sparky." He was laughing because he couldn't believe how like dumb it was, and then he somehow, we'll have to have him on sometime to tell the story, but he was telling me how he at least got them to change it to Bob Sparkplug Holly, rather than a guy that was called by his friend Sparky. So,
Sparky.
But so.
Okay, so there's and the Goon was, as I previously mentioned, that to me was, I mean, come on, it was Wild Bill Irwin, one half of the Irwin brothers, and
the Long Riders.
This crazy, wild Terry Funk like tag team.
Came out on a motorcycle with a whip.
Yeah,
And,
wearing a duster, and
he's
then
now he's wearing skates that have been made into wrestling boots with the soles on them are kind of
Angled.
shaved down to look like blades, so he didn't even have all of his balance. So
talk about a blown anything lower extremity waiting to happen.
right.
Those
I did like at the start of all of his matches though, when the bell rang, he'd throw his gloves off and grab the guy like a hockey fight,
and just
that was
go,
pretty funny. Yeah.
just start
Just
throwing
fun.
heaters.
But let me ask you a question: how many times do you think Wild Bill Irwin was ever on skates, or actually even saw a hockey game?
Well, I think he's from Minnesota.
Oh, is he? I thought he
So
was from the South for some reason.
maybe there's a possibility.
There's a chance.
But still, I mean, just because you've been on skates doesn't mean you want to wrestle on them.
Right.
I mean,
Or maybe you do.
Maybe you do. Although I will say that the Goon wore a New Jersey Devils jersey without the logo, so that was always cool.
Right.
It would have been way cooler, though, if he was wearing Cooperalls.
That would have been really sick.
That would have been pretty badass.
Yeah. What do you think, Matt? What do you got?
You can weigh in on the hockey, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that one was pretty bad. For sure. I thought Bastion Booger that's one of my favorites because the whole gimmick was just, I'm gross.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think before that, the incarnation is he was a monk, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Friar Ferguson.
That might be worse than Bastion Booger.
So that's just a career full of bad gimmicks.
I'm just a monk that's just want to be liked, but I just enjoy hurting people in my spare time.
Yeah. And if they had put them together with the Berserker as a tag team, it would have been like a period piece tag team.
Right.
Like a monk and a Viking.
Right.
Could have been something there.
Well, the good thing is, if any of those guys, especially the Goon, if he lost his teeth, there was a dentist around to fix it.
Isaac Yankem.
Yeah.
DDS.
I like that his finishing move wasn't the DDT anymore; it was the DDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn's going to be real happy we brought that one up.
From Decatur, Illinois.
There was nails.
Yeah, I remember I drove past Decatur once and on a way to a show, and I get there and Glenn was there, and I said, "Hey Glenn, I've passed your hometown on the way here." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, Decatur, Illinois." And he's like, "You're a dick," and he turns around and walks away. He was so mad at me.
And there is a guy. Before we, there was another name mentioned in there before, in the midst of Isaac Yankem too. I think that we briefly touched on there, but anyway, there's a guy. Okay, Isaac Yankem. Then
the new Diesel, and just he's too good to deny. And then, thankfully, finally, they realized, okay, such a unique look here too, right? Like, I mean, he just it's like what 6'9".
He's huge.
6'10". He's huge.
And you know what? I forget how huge he is until because he lives about an hour from me, and we'll get together, and I forget not being in the locker room and just kind of getting used to the size of normal human beings.
Right.
Where I'm big. And then I go back to that world, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, he's a beast. Absolute beast. So, but how thankful do you think he's got to be after going and trying to make all of those gimmicks work, and then, okay, you're going to be the Undertaker's brother, Kane.
Well, I think, too, also because
have this cool mask and a full-body outfit. And
I think also, too, because he probably did everything he could to make those other ones work.
Yeah.
Right? So it's one of those ones where, you get out what you put in. And, he might not necessarily like those ones, but he always did the best with what he had. And plus, he looked so unique. He had the size. He was good. Still is good. That, eventually something was going to work out for him. So.
Well, but here's the thing with all of these gimmicks. I think no matter what they are, the guys and girls try and make them work.
Right.
It's not for a lack of trying, but how do you make Bastion Booger work?
Right.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys, actually. Do you think that, you've seen, like, the New Day on paper, maybe it shouldn't have worked. It worked. Do you think that there's a possibility that you can make any gimmick work if you figure out the right angle?
It depends to what level.
Yeah, because if you think about the New Day, it didn't work at first.
No, right. Until they took the reins of it.
Until they just like, well, we got nothing to lose at this point, right. And they just started just doing what they were doing, and it worked. It's hard when you don't 100. Even if you're trying, if you don't 100% believe in what you're doing, it's hard. If you don't believe it 100%, how do you expect your audience to believe it? So there's that kind of fine line there.
Well, and okay, let's just use, since we're talking Bastion Booger, let's use that as an example. Bastion Booger is only going to get so far, character-wise. I think in terms of, George the Animal Steel, his incarnation in the 80s where he became this lovable, green-tongued, holding mine and chewing turnbuckles. He took that and ran and pushed it as far as that character could get in the card, to the point where, he was probably main eventing house shows against Savage. Mm-hmm. I think that's as far with that type of character as you're going to take it. I don't think Bastion Booger was ever going to get there,
Well, honestly, I don't think just to kind of put another angle on that when you said that is I'm not sure that it could have gone as far as, I mean, it was great, and obviously, people loved it. Like I said, the whole green tongue, the turnbuckle, the mine, the doll that he carried around, but also his infatuation with Elizabeth really helped that they had that to play with, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was King Kong.
Right. So that really, when you have something like that, that can kind of, people can gravitate towards that, right? They can understand that. They understand what's going on character-wise, storyline-wise. They can follow that, and but like you said, Bastion Booger's not going to get a storyline like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, from that glut of characters, there was also Mantar.
Ooh. Oh man.
Yeah. I threw that one out at you guys. What do you think about that? That was a bit of a left hook, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love Mantor. Man came out with the giant buffalo head.
Yeah.
They couldn't get in the ring with it.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, he was supposed to be, I guess, a centaur?
I think he's supposed to be a buffalo man.
Greek mythology?
Yeah, I guess so.
Why the tar? I mean,
I don't know.
It's very confusing.
Sounded cool.
I wonder why it didn't work.
I don't know. What do you think there, Matt?
I guess that one has a pretty well-defined ceiling, too. Mantar is not going to be fighting The Rock at a pay-per-view.
No, I think the glass ceiling has already been put there.
Right.
And no matter how big the buffalo head, it's not going to break through.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, there's another one that I always think back to. It wasn't WWE, but the Shockmaster was
that's classic. Yeah.
out of control. That video, I never don't laugh hysterically at that video of him falling over the cutout.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And bless his heart, Fred Ottman, a.k.a. Typhoon.
Good guy.
A.k.a. Tugboat, is awesome.
Yeah.
Like an absolute just amazing human being. A huge human being.
Yeah.
And talented, too. Like, the Natural Disasters were badass.
Yeah.
That was a great team.
Yeah. I mean, John Tenton and Fred Ottman, man, they were, they scared me.
Well, it also shows you, too, like, I mean, you think about, like, and that was a WCW gimmick, right? So it's like, it's one of those things, too, where it's kind of doomed from the start. He's supposed to be this Shockmaster, this guy from this other world, and he shows up with a furry cape. Like, you'd think Mantor would wear something like that. It was a long, brown, furry cape with this, like, Stormtrooper helmet, and he was wearing jeans and cowboy boots. I was going to say, like, so it's like, come on.
The cape is what got you, not the sparkly Stormtrooper helmet?
Yeah.
I mean, it was styrofoam, it was plastic, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it kind of looked like when you let a little kid dress himself. You're just like, hey, go in your room, and they put on a cape and a helmet and jeans.
Yeah, today's dress up day.
Right,
you wear what you want, honey, and they come out with butterfly wings and a tutu.
Right. But you have to think though, if the booking committee or whoever it was that was all involved in that really wanted it to work, they've been like, let's go all out with this thing. He's going full sparkle pants, crazy shirt, weird cape or wings or something in this helmet, but no, he's wearing a furry cape with blue jeans and cowboy boots and Stormtrooper helmet. It's like dude went to the Halloween store and grabbed the first. You know what I mean? It's just
my favorite part of that debacle is the reactions of Ric Flair and Sid Vicious.
Yeah,
and Bulldog,
Booker and Bulldog, and I think Sid goes, "See, I told you," and it just. Somebody went, "Oh God!" I think it was Flair.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that one is, though, that he's actually embraced it. So
you got to.
We had him on the
Edge
and Christian show. We had him on the Edge and Christian show, the Totally Reeks of Awesomeness on WWE Network. He was on our show.
That was a great plug, Jay.
Thanks. Last season. Yeah. And he embraced it. Like, he had a great time. When we told him everything he wanted to do, he was down for everything, and he had a fun time, and he was a great guy. And he just told us, so yeah, just embrace it, and he does appearances with it and the whole thing. So he's making the most of the infamous Shockmaster.
It's good to laugh at it, but I mean, what's interesting there is look at the people he was working with. So in their minds, I guess they had that character becoming like a big-time player, right?
They had it plugged in, apparently. Yeah, which I don't know who was booking it. Was it Ole Anderson, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was also the time when the Black Scorpion, had Ole Anderson in the back on a microphone going, "Sting!"
Yeah.
Like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. But then there was also gimmicks too, where it was like they bring guys back, they be gone for a little bit, and they come back as somebody else. But you're like, you obviously know it's the other person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when Saba Simba came back, you're like, yeah, it's Tony Atlas.
Yeah.
You know? And
or how about, like, I remember the big rumors were, you know, when Ultimate Warrior came back, it wasn't the original Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
It was a new Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Or I think Kane was another one that people always said, oh, it's a new Kane.
Yeah.
Well, it never was. It was never a new Ultimate Warrior. It was never a new Kane. It's the same guy.
Right. Here's one that's kind of, I mean, you might have to be a hardcore wrestling fan on this one, but like Barry Windham came back as the Stalker.
Ooh, yeah.
Stalker. And he was like rummaging around in the forest with like paint on his face. Meanwhile, he's one of the best pure wrestlers
ever.
But, yeah. So,
yeah, ever. I'm
ever.
saying it, ever, because Barry Windham was
smooth,
amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember when he came in as the Widowmaker initially in a short run with the WWF, I was super excited. I thought he was actually going to take the title from Hogan. That was my pick at the time. And then he was gone. And
I actually thought the
went
Widowmaker name was pretty awesome.
It was amazing. I liked everything about it.
Yeah.
Imagine a tag team, the Widowmaker and the Undertaker. Giddy up.
Yeah.
And you have it, the people that are, you know, Barry Windham and the Undertaker as a tag team. That would have been a team. Fantasy booking. So yeah, the Stalker is one. That was not very good, and that was also like along the lines of Skinner. Remember Skinner? You took Steve Kern, one of the fabulous ones.
Yeah.
Great in-ring worker, and but that's an instance where he took it and did what he could with it.
Yeah, he just rolled out of the Everglades and into the ring.
Completely changes. Like he looked like a, you know, just like he did roll out of the Everglades. So he went from this, for lack of a better term,
running down his face.
Yeah, but went from like a pretty boy tag team wearing bow ties, you know, being one of like a heartthrob type character to that.
Yeah,
that's it's thinking outside the box. Whoever came up with it,
right?
If nothing else.
Well, I mean, it was the time of characters, right? It was around that time, but I mean, he's from Florida, so I guess he has an understanding of alligators, I assume. I don't know.
Because he's from Florida? What, is everybody from Florida knows how to wrestle gators?
I wrestled 3 this morning.
That's right.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Did you give him the gator roll?
No,
You see, you don't even know what that is. How are you going to beat a gator without a gator roll?
I put him in the ankle lock submission.
Oh, yeah. Those little tiny ankles? Yeah. You just started reefing up.
It wasn't easy. Wasn't easy. But, yeah.
You're a moron. So there was one I was thinking of right before we got onto the Stalker, and I can't remember what it was now.
Was it the Real Man's Man?
Well, that wasn't great either.
No. He's a man.
The song was amazing, though.
He's
a real man's man. Yeah, that was. Oof.
There was also Naked Midian.
Naked Midian was the best. And I'll tell you why it was the best. Because of Midian, and this is some insider information right here. The reason why he became Naked Midian is because he was Naked Midian. He would be always on like first or second match on live events, and then because he rode with guys that were, you know, later on in the card, what would happen is he would take a shower, and then he would air dry, and he would fall asleep on the ground in the locker room completely naked for the rest of the night, and then he'd actually end up being the last one to leave. And I remember somebody asking him, dude, why don't you just put some clothes on? And he's like, I like to air dry, you know, like what's the big deal? And so I guess it got back to that, to, you know, the powers that be, that he was always naked in a locker room and all that sort of thing, and he became Naked Midian. But he was also one of those guys that had the personality of like, I don't care, I'll do anything, you know, whatever. Yeah. And he put the fanny pack on, tanned his upper body, not his lower body, and would run out during matches and hit the Heisman pose, and off he went. And I remember this one time, which is hilarious, is that because Steve Blackman was pretty serious, right?
Just a little.
And this was kind of became a famous line backstage. Was because somebody was explaining to him he was wrestling, I think, Al Snow or something on Heat, and so the agent, whoever was overseeing their match, said to him, so yeah, you guys be doing your match, and then somewhere around this area, Midian's going to come in, He's going to hit the Heisman pose. You guys are going to look at him like, what the fuck is going on? He's going to leave. You guys will kind of watch him go, and you're like dumbfounded as to what's going on. And you go back to your match, finish your match. And then Blackman's like, he goes, you got it? And Black goes, I got a question. And there's, what's that? He goes, why wouldn't I just kick his ass? It's like, which is, I guess, a legit question. And then he goes, because that's not what they want, Steve. They just want you to watch him and be like, what the fuck? Watch him run away. And he's like, I still think I should kick his ass. And he walks away, which was the funniest thing ever.
Well, and it just goes to show too how sometimes you have to be careful what you show in terms of your what you're actually like, because that reminds me and brings me to Kurgan, Robert Maillet, who's now been in Sherlock Holmes and 300 and has a good acting career under his belt, but at the time he was in WWF and he had just come out of the Truth Commission. He's a massive guy, super sweet guy. Again,
one of the nicest guys you ever meet.
Easily one of the, just heart of gold, do anything for you. I love
but
Robert.
Looks like an insane person.
Well, he looks like a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's 6'11", whatever he is. He's 300 pounds. He's huge and looks the part. And I just remember him dancing at the WrestleMania after party with his wife. And I remember thinking, oh no, I hope no one sees that. And sure enough, the oddities are born, and he's
the dancing giant.
The dancing giant, along with, back to John Tenta, is Golga. They put John Tenta, the sumo champion, and repackage him as Golga, wearing, I guess for lack of a better term, like a gimp mask.
And it had like lumps built into it, like his face was deformed, which is why he was wearing the mask, right?
And
like
originally the oddities were heels, right?
I think they were, yeah, because I think they were kind of reluctant heels. They were just kind of like following their, who was Don Callis, who was...
it was Don Callis, Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus. So he was... He wasn't Cyrus there, though. He was the Jap.
The Jap.
And then he had the little diamond thing on the middle of his head. And he
or
was
as we know him, the Natch.
Yeah. So he was kind of like, I guess, like a cult leader, and he kind of had them brainwashed, I guess. So they were kind of doing his bidding for him, I guess you could say. But yeah, he had this band of misfits, and people don't like these oddities. Most people wouldn't like it.
You remember?
Like yeah. Oh. They became baby faces after.
How do you remember those lyrics? Like you are like such a strange Rain Man of obscure little tidbits that I don't remember.
I can sing the whole Double J With My Baby Tonight song.
Oh, well, that was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
But really, you don't have to do that, and you really should not.
Does that mean you want me to do it?
No.
Well, wasn't Road Dogg his producer on that song?
Yeah. He actually...
I think. Yeah. Well, no, he was his roadie.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes
well, he
more
actually,
sense.
and then it came out later that he actually sang the song in Double J.
It was Milli Vanilli all over again.
Yeah. How embarrassing.
Right?
Unbelievable.
Talk about a career killer.
Spend my
his music career is never the same. You're going to do it anyway. You're going to sing it, aren't you?
Too slow, and I can't
wait
to
be
be alone
home with my baby tonight.
You know my girl has got me wrapped around her little finger, 'cause you know that I would walk to hell and back to be with her. And
I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. I actually remember more than I thought.
Yeah, you did.
But that's good, Jay. That's I think 2 verses is more
Turn
than
the
enough.
lights down, close the door. We'll leave every worry in the world behind. Okay.
Do you
know
listen
the bridge
to that regularly?
Hold me in your
Right?
arms.
That's very impressive.
Well, like
Baby,
no, but
you
seriously,
know-
like I get knowing some of the verses, but you know the bridge. Like,
Baby, you
what is
know
wrong
I
with
got
you?
a one-track mind, but it's hard to concentrate around a girl like mine.
Oh, your voice is horrible too. It's so bad. I mean, mine's horrible too, but God, that was.
I have a
No,
silky
you don't.
smooth
No,
voice.
you don't. No, you
Yeah.
don't.
So I didn't have a chance to warm up.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I didn't have a chance to hit my upper register.
Yeah. We talked about WCW a little bit with Shockmaster, but we didn't talk about the Ding Dongs.
No, we didn't talk about Arachnaman either.
Oh, how about that? How about you take Brad Armstrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take Brad Armstrong, who could have a match with a broken broom.
Right.
Who has the best drop kick, one of the best drop kicks ever.
Yeah.
Comes from the Armstrong family, has that, and let's make him Arachnaman.
He was also Bad Street.
He was Bad Street as well. Yeah. Which that was kind of cool.
And he was the Candyman.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the Candyman.
I like candy canes and more candy cane tights.
And he wore striped tights.
Yeah.
Oh. Bless his heart. Like, really, come on.
Yeah.
Brad Armstrong.
Yep.
Gee whiz. WCW.
I watched so many Brad Armstrong matches when I was breaking in because I wanted to be able to wrestle like him. Talk about a guy that was so awesome in the ring. Everything he did just looked so good. I wanted to be as good as Brad Armstrong. That's
you
what
know
I
what?
wanted.
And all of them were great.
Yeah.
Scotty, who's now a referee, I remember. So I was world champion at this point, and I think I had wrestled Ray or somebody, and so I went over, and then everybody's cleared the ring. Scott was still in there, but I got mad at him or something, and I pushed him, and it was a house show, and so he pushed me back. I was like, all right, I'm going to shoot you off reverse drop kick. He was like, no. I was like, yep. So I shot him in. He reversed it. He hit me with a drop kick right in the face beautifully. Boom, took a big bump, rolled out of the ring. And he was like, I'm going to get fired. But after that, every night I did it to him. And he started having fun. And I think one night I called stunner. Yeah. So he hit me with a drop kick and I fed up for a stunner. That's because why not? Yeah. I was your world heavyweight champion, everyone.
You could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah. That's the way it works. Yeah. Well, it was a house show. It was fun. Ding dongs. They had bells on their full body, like, went down to their wrists.
Yeah.
And they had bells on them. Do you remember them, Mega Matt?
No, I actually don't. When was that?
It was 80s, and it was a couple of guys. I think it was the Mulkey brothers.
Yeah, it might have been.
And I think they...
You should Google right now the Ding Dongs.
Googleplex that.
Yeah. I also liked High Voltage in WCW. There were these guys that were from the power plant. I guess both from the actual power plant, WCW, the wrestling school, and they were from a power plant. And they came out and they were just like, they looked at each other and they were like, oh, they would shake like they were like electric.
They're just, yeah.
The Ding Dongs, I just Googled them. They kind of look like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Before Power Rangers.
Right.
So how about that?
They were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that what were the Bushwhackers? Was that a bad gimmick or a great gimmick because of, they kind of made it their own. They were out of the Rumble every year in like half a second.
Well, I think that they were like in the time frame, right? Like they were the same thing. They were like these hardcore, kind of before hardcore wrestling was even kind of cool.
They were the sheep herders.
They were the sheep herders and they were just these hard ass brawlers that fought, and they came and they didn't even change their gear. They wore the same thing they wore when they were the sheep herders, but they they became these lovable guys that licked people, and
it was George Animal Steele of tag teams, basically, because George Steele in this, the 60s and 70s was like this maniac, feared wrestler, and so were the Bushwhackers. When they were the sheep herders, they had a feud with the Fantastics that were like in these cage matches with like chicken wire cages. I mean, just really brutal Mid-South type of, I think it was Bill Watts territory, and they just... They were feared, and then
I think too, if you have something if you have something that the crowd can grab a hold of and feel like they can be a part of your act, that goes a long way. And when they came to the ring and they did that walk with the arms, if you looked in the crowd, all the people were doing that. So no matter where they were on the card, people were engaged when they came out because they felt like they were somewhat part of the act. So I think that also gave them longevity and also kind of helped make them into something that actually had some lasting power.
Right.
So I have to say, good gimmick.
Yeah,
but
I did too.
on paper, Maybe it doesn't appear that way, but on paper, does The Undertaker sound like something that will go on to be undefeated in WrestleMania for like 22 years and be the tent pole holding up the company at certain times and kind of the measuring stick within the wrestling industry, or more or less the new Andre the Giant? Like if you had been sitting there and we're in that first creative meeting, went, okay, we want this guy and he's going to be an Undertaker.
Right.
It sounds like the shelf life isn't going to be that long.
No, and I mean the thing is too, and if I honestly believe if it was on anybody but The Undertaker,
yeah,
it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have had that shelf life. But because he personified that, and he embraced it, and he became The Undertaker, and he just had the look, he had the movements, he had everything down. That it was, he had the entrance, and when he did the entrance, people still, when they hear that gong, they stand up. It's become this revered character. He's also one of the most revered guys in the locker room. But it's, I don't think that it would have had much lasting power if it was anybody but him doing it. I don't think anybody could do that character the way that he's done it.
Do you think he changed the character to the motorcycle riding Undertaker because he thought that the actual Undertaker character was getting stale?
I mean, probably. I think one of the keys to longevity in wrestling, especially if you're going to remain the same character, is the fact that you have to change it sometimes.
Right.
Otherwise, it gets stagnant. So it can still be, just a lighter shade or a darker shade, but The Undertaker went through a lot of different phases like that. It was the Ministry Undertaker for a little while where it got much even darker. And then I think it just came a point where he had to switch it up. And I also think that the reason it switched up is that he actually wanted to wrestle more. Because as The Undertaker in the first kind of incarnation of it, the character kind of pigeonholed how much he could actually wrestle. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy who can really work. So while he was working the gimmick initially, you couldn't go out and have the kind of matches that he can actually have. So I think the American Badass was a way to segue into being able to get in there with Kurt Angle and have amazing matches, technical matches too.
And then I also think from that, people were accepting of that fact. And then when he went back to the original Undertaker,
it was okay.
It was okay. It was people had seen it now. They knew that he could do all these things, but he was also adding the elements of what they loved about the original Undertaker character, and it made it fresh again.
Well, that's great.
You had to have that segue in order to get the Undertaker that we have now.
Right. He can move so well though. Like I remember, I went to a house show when I was younger, and I saw him wrestle Giant Gonzalez, and it wasn't even. They were miles apart. But looking at it now, you could tell that Giant Gonzalez couldn't move a third of the way the Undertaker could move. Yeah, he was like a big guy in the NBA, like a Kevin Durant who can run like a point guard, but he's like 7 feet tall. Yeah. Undertaker's doing the tightrope walk. He's doing all this stuff. Like, there's no way a guy like Giant Gonzalez or even like a Kurgan or any of those guys can pull it off.
And there's a reason why he's still around and he's still relevant. And that's why. And before I move on and, just give my own little tidbit on working with Taker, how about the fur costume on Giant Gonzalez, speaking of bad gimmicks?
I know, right? It's like, dude, your pubes are out of control.
Yeah, it was like a thatched, like it was hip to hip, right?
It was like Itchy Scratchy from the Cheech and Chong movies.
And weren't there fake abs or like painted on that? It was like
everything was painted on.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow. But Undertaker is one of those guys.
Well, you also think about in that vein of guys that were top of the business and were huge draws. You also have to think of Steve Austin coming in as the ringmaster.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
And I won't finish my thought on Undertaker. We'll move on.
Did you have a finishing thought?
Well, evidently you weren't listening.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
I got excited. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
No, because this is a good point. Ringmaster is a very good point, and an instance where you take, I think, as you were about to say, the top draw in the history of the wrestling business, and I don't even think it's arguable. I think in terms of numbers, in terms of ratings, in terms of units sold, in terms of just even still, you hear the glass break and the place is going to go nuts.
Yeah,
so you have the biggest draw in the industry eventually, but initially when he comes to WWF, he's the ringmaster, Steve Austin.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure really if it was really a gimmick more than it was just a name. But it was just, the name didn't fit the look. You know what I mean? It was like, he had the bald head, huge legs, well built. He was, full steam ahead when he was in the ring.
Green trunks, though.
Yeah. That was because he was the $1 Million Man, right? So
yeah.
But he, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I think the name fit what the character, what he looked like. You know what I mean? And I think that to his credit, that he was not only good enough, but had the I guess the guts to kind of to take the reins and change it into Stone Cold Steve Austin, and make it the way that he wanted it to be, and like you said, became the biggest draw in the history of the company.
Well, sometimes you ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission, right? And
Right.
I think that's one of those instances where it starts catching fire, and then you have the King of the Ring, and he starts cutting that promo, and nobody's going to say anything. It's like, yeah, let's run with this. Let's ride this horse. But I think sometimes there's not a lot of thought put into it. I'm sure It was, Steve Austin, he can work, so we'll call him the ringmaster.
Yeah.
And we'll put him with DiBiase, another guy who can work but can't work anymore. And I think that might have been the extent of it. Although I do remember that no matter what he was doing, he was still having great matches.
Yeah.
Whether it was ringmaster or whatever it was. I remember a series with Savio Vega, and man, they had some good matches.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Really,
and
really
Savio
good
was a really underrated guy. Really good. But I even remember like the ringmaster's music was kind of like lame. It was kind of like just very kind of mellow type music, and just
definitely not Steve.
No.
And then you have Rocky Maivia.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Another guy who, the Die Rocky Die chants, that was probably a low point for that gimmick.
Well, yeah, but took it and ran, and took something to be able to bite into, and use that in his promos, and that character caused a reaction no matter what, and it caused a different reaction than probably creative wanted, but then he and creative had enough foresight to go, okay, but let's try this.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even if the crowd is booing or if they're not reacting, it's when it's dangerous.
The gobbledygooker.
Right.
When
there's
apathy.
complete silence.
Nobody wants apathy.
That's when you're in trouble.
Which reminds me, Tony Condello used to call me Adam Apathy instead of Adam Impact. He'd screw up the name. Adam Apathy. I was like, well, what? Adam Apathy. There we go.
Well, once he couldn't remember my name was Christian Cage, so he remember my real first name was Jay, and then what he thought was the other part of Christian Cage, so he advertised me as Jay Christine. Rock and roll Jay Christine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rock and roll Jay Christine.
Yeah. So
the rock and roll is what made it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, here's another character that, again, you might go, huh? Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. That probably shouldn't have worked.
But you think about it like this, though. He was supposed to come in as Hogan's buddy. Hogan was supposed to bring in this Honky Tonk Man to be his best buddy, and he was going to help him out. They were going to ride the roads together, brother.
And his tights used to have suspenders initially.
Yep. And then, people just, same thing. It was one of those things where it wasn't silence. People just hated it. And
it was the Rocky Maivia reaction before Rocky Maivia was the Honky Tonk Man.
But to his credit, he turned it around and became one of the best heels of that time, and the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. He took something that wasn't working and made it into something very, very successful, which is a credit to him.
Who was the person that took the Intercontinental Championship away from the Honky Tonk Man? It was the Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
Now, think back to world-class wrestling. His first gimmick was the Dingo Warrior.
Right.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
The Dingo Warrior. So does he... I got nothing.
Are dingoes inhabitants of Africa, or are they?
I thought it was Australia.
Australia, sorry, yeah.
Doesn't he?
Way off.
Close though, Jay.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere
Start with an A.
Somewhere with an A.
But what does he fight kangaroos? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Does he throw boomerangs? Like is he Outback Jack? Is he? Speaking of bad gimmicks,
I know. So, but yeah,
wow,
I mean,
Outback Jack.
but then you think about it, right? Because he even came to WWF at the time as the Dingo Warrior. Because I remember seeing him advertised. You know, the Dingo Warrior is coming to Maple Leaf Gardens. And I was like, oh, wow, the Dingo Warrior. And I think he even might have had a match or two as the Dingo Warrior. And then
he did.
all of a sudden they changed it to the Ultimate Warrior. I was like, what? He's not the Dingo Warrior anymore? But, like...
Man, what a shame.
Yeah. But well, for a guy that read all the magazines not realizing that, he took the Dingo Warrior, turned it into the Ultimate Warrior, and also became one of the...
Histoire.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But let's go back to Outback Jack.
Yeah, let's go back there.
Now, that's a song that I can partially sing for you. Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down. That's all I know.
Well, it's not quite with my baby tonight, but...
But, I mean...
Yeah, we should do that.
Oh, and we could play it on the kazoo. Yeah.
Can we restart this episode and do that?
Just do that. Just forget the last hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone listening to this can forget this last hour, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I've had people with my music by Alter Bridge. It says, "On this day I see clearly," but I've had people say they thought it was "Namaste, Dennis Leary," which is pretty good lyrics, actually. Namaste, Dennis Leary. Oh, that would have been good. Kind of like The Love Guru with Mike Myers. Remember that horrible movie? Yeah. Yeah, it was based around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Whoa. How about Chainsaw Charlie?
Yeah?
What was that all about?
I guess you didn't know it was Terry Funk?
Why?
I'm not. I guess maybe it was an alter. Maybe I'm thinking now. Maybe it was an alter ego, kind of like Cactus Jack. You know, it was like we're supposed to know it was Terry Funk, but it was an alter ego, kind of like.
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, but that makes a little more sense now. Okay.
Right.
Chainsaw Charlie. Techno Team 2000.
The best. Travis. And Troy.
Travis and Troy.
Right. Nothing says names from the future like Travis and Troy.
Yeah, they were a techno.
They were team,
aka a technological team.
Oh, I thought it was techno like the music.
Because I don't. I don't think so. I don't.
No.
They didn't dance.
They're supposed to be a tag team from the future. So
yeah,
they were.
But they had like circuitry on their forearm bands and everything. So I don't think that meant dancing to music.
Yeah, I
think it meant technology.
I guess maybe that was more what I was hoping it would be.
Yeah, they were Bill Gates and Steve Jobs basically.
Yeah. So that was pretty bad.
Without any of the intelligence.
How about the time there was like, 2000 is going to be like crazy technologically wise? So like, we're just Techno Team 2000. Anything with a new or a number attached to it is pretty dangerous.
A number too, you think, huh?
Yeah. You know?
You're going back to Ringmaster. LOD 2000.
LOD 2000.
I know where you're going. LOD 2000.
Right. So.
Yeah, because that's saying the new version.
Right. This is a new way of saying new.
Yeah, like if you were to do Edge and Christian 2021, or the Dudleys 5248.
Yeah.
And they don't smash through tables; they smash you through planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does actually. Okay, well, if anybody sees me trolling on wrestling internet websites, it's Dudley Boys 5258 with a Z. But I was thinking, we talked about Undertaker, Ringmaster, Honky Tonk Man, all of these things, but you have You have The Undertaker and Steve Austin,
Kane.
two of the biggest stars ever.
Yeah.
And think back to Bret Hart. Before he's the Hitman, before he's any of these things, he's Bret Hart Wrestling and Stampede Wrestling. They bring him in, and they want him to be Cowboy Bret Hart.
Well, yeah, he did a couple as Cowboy Bret Hart, right?
Yeah, and I think they wanted him to ride in on a horse.
Oh, my God.
And you already had Cowboy Bob Orton. So, like, Cowboy
You didn't have
Bret
a Canadian cowboy, though.
Ah, yeah, okay. So what is the difference?
You know.
I just acted like I knew, but what's the difference?
One is colder than the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he just wears thicker clothes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's riveting.
Yeah.
But, I memean, think about, again, okay.
Did you just fart?
No.
Oh, I thought
I
heard
dropped
you
my
fart.
pen.
Oh.
If I farted, you'd know.
All right.
It would definitely have picked up louder than that. Huh.
Matt, did you fart?
Oh, there was a gap there. You had to think about it. Wait, so you don't know if you fart? What's wrong with you? Oh.
You're tuned.
Okay, yeah, you're just involuntarily farting because this conversation is so exciting. And there's a guy who repeatedly got given, a lot of gimmicks. I think Papa Shango was the first one.
He was also the Supreme Fighting Machine, Mustafa.
Yeah, part of the Nation of Domination.
Wait, no, sorry, right. He was first, and then he became part of the Nation. He was Mustafa.
Yeah. Yeah, originally he was just the Supreme Fighting Machine or whatever.
Right.
And interesting because that was like in the very infancy of UFC.
Right.
And that character was kind of a spin-off from that.
And I don't think people really knew what it was
No.
either at that point, which I don't think helped it. But because, like I said, it wasn't like a mainstream type. It was kind of more of an underground sport.
I mean, at that point, UFC was like a 400-pound dude against like Hoist Gracie.
Right.
Yeah, and then from there it was Kama Mustafa, and then from there it was the Godfather, and then from
RTC
there
Godfather,
the Good Father,
the Good Father,
the Good Father.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I gotta say, I think my favorite out of that is Papa Shango.
That was great.
The face paint, man.
Yeah, when he melted Altamore's face paint.
Well, no, I meant like Papa Shango's face paint, the skull.
The
skull and the top hat and the shoulder pads and everything. I thought it was creepy, personally.
Oh, it was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And he kind of even spoke with like a accent when he was shaking around and doing the whole.
Yeah, like I pictured that dude somewhere down in the bayou.
Right.
And putting spells on you.
Yeah, I'm sure like he believed that. Like he it was one of those instances where he's like, I can work with this.
I think it was Screamin' Jay Hawkins, I Put a Spell on You. That's the song I always pictured.
And I think New Age Papa Shango is probably the boogeyman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another very creepy gimmick, man. I mean, and that's a guy, Boogie's a guy who was down in OVW just kind of floundering, trying to come up with stuff, and he came up with a lot of that stuff, maybe all of it.
Yeah.
And
dude really eats those worms.
Yes, he does.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, got all his teeth knocked out down in OVW. But yeah, just that's I think an instance where he just kind of started to create his own character.
Yeah.
And that's what it became.
What about ones that are like kind of like Akeem,
the African Dream. That's
the African Dream.
I don't see that one flying now.
No.
Where
he went on Arsenio Hall and stated he was going to be the first black world heavyweight champion.
Yeah. That would be a hot button.
I doubt Kamala would work now either.
I don't think Kamala would work. No. I don't think Adrian Adonis would work now. Adorable Adrian. There's quite a few that you can really look back on and go, oh gosh. Now, sign of the times, granted, but
Right.
there were a lot of questionable in hindsight things. They were just like, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, oh gosh, oh, we can do better than that, can't
Right.
we? Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
I always got a kick out of the way Akeem danced though, and
yeah, he was kind of juking and jiving when he was on his way down.
And as a matter of fact, when Jay and I would play pool, when he would line up for a shot, I would do the Akeem dance, but I called it the Adim dance.
Yeah.
Because, my name's Adam, so
Yeah.
you see what I did?
Yeah.
And I would curse his shot by doing my dance
Yeah.
near the pocket that he was going for, and it generally worked. Yep.
You were in his head.
Slick was
Yeah.
awesome with that, though.
Yeah.
The doctor
Again,
stuff.
though,
Yeah.
another gimmick.
Right.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, one of the vignettes for Slick was he was wanting to eat some yard bird. Yeah. Yeah. But I can remember some more of Slick's music.
Yeah.
I'm a jive soul bro. A jive soul bro. And I'm always lying to your friends. I'm a jive soul bro. A jive soul bro. And you never get nothing in the end. But there's a part where he says about and she threw me on the floor in a figure four singing jive soul bro.
And the star goes, well, I met this lady and I told her a little story that I love her forever. That's all I remember.
Yeah, and then I forget. But yeah, Slick. Dr. Style.
Yeah.
WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
What else we got? What do you got, Matt?
Have there ever been times when you guys are in the back and you see someone come out of a meeting about their new gimmick and you can tell that, they were happy before and then they come out and their life is just destroyed? You have to console them for...
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Usually those types of things aren't done the day of. It's usually kind of planned well in advance where it's like in my instance with the lock, where they called me on the day off and told me. So it's like,
So you could be frustrated at home.
Yeah, maybe.
As opposed to, showing your game face at TVs.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember anybody.
Or anybody that comes back through the curtain and just starts screaming, like, why am I doing this? Because I pictured that in my head for a few people. I'm like, they got to go back there and just, like, throw their masks down or throw their tentacles or whatever they've been outfitted with.
The octopus.
And just go, like, this is ridiculous.
Whoa. Well, but see, that reminds me, our buddy Nick, who wrestled as Kazarni in WWF, he has Freak Show Wrestling out in Vegas, and he creates these messed up gimmicks and prides himself on it. So the main villain in his company is a giant octopus.
I like that.
You can't even fathom the stuff they do.
So
only
four
Nick.
people could lock up with it at once.
Well, more than I think the way it debuted was in a battle royal,
That's
and
great.
it won the battle royal and threw everyone out.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh my
giant
God.
octopus.
Well, I mean, with a name like Freak Show Wrestling, at least it makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he had like the ghost of Macho Man against the ghost of Whitney Houston. Like,
Oh, my God.
yeah, I mean, just if you can think it and think it's disturbing and offending enough, then they're going to do it. I think they have a character named Hulk Cosby. I mean, just
Jesus.
yeah, just like yeah. Adolf Hitler, I think, is another character. Yeah. So there's some gimmicks.
There you have it.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
What else?
What about like sometimes like if you think about it like a pretty girl like Jillian Hall, right? And they had
Okay.
that. Remember, she had that growth on
The
her
mole.
face for a while, and it was like,
which the boogeyman ate off of her face.
and it didn't even look real, though.
Yeah.
And it was like she had to go out there and with that thing on her face, and I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, and the fact that it didn't look real, let's put this in perspective here. It's a wrestling company with a makeup department who is putting on like makeup for a photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a Hollywood makeup team.
Right.
So yeah, it didn't look real because that's not what they know how to do. But sure, they can do it. And
I think when they realized that it wasn't coming off like they had planned, they're like, let's just have Boogeyman eat it off her face.
Yeah, there you go. There's a way out of it.
Yeah,
I think another gimmick that probably falls into the category of shouldn't have made it for as long as it did was Doink.
Ooh, yeah.
I kind of liked Doink when it first came out.
Initially,
He was like that evil.
He was mean Doink, yeah.
He was evil, and he kind of had that like kind of psychotic look, and had like the crazy clown music, and just did the gimmick really well. And
it was Matt Bourne,
yeah.
who obviously, maybe he watched, or read It by Stephen King,
right.
and Pennywise the Clown, and took that, and Tim Curry, I think, played it in the TV movie. I mean, there was a possibility there, and he took it and did what he could with it. But yeah, I remember that being like creepy, and just like you'd picture that Doink the Clown in a back alley somewhere.
Yeah.
And you'd stumble into him and go, oh man, I got to go the other way. And initially, yeah, it did work like that.
Yeah. And then, like anything, got turned into I think somebody else took over the persona, I guess. And
was it Brooklyn Brawler?
No, I think he did one at one point. But
Didn't Steve Kern too?
He might have. I think there was somebody else though in between. I can't recall who it was, and maybe they took
a question
it over
for our listenership.
Yeah, if you know who it is, let us know. But
Tweet us.
Yeah, I think when Matt Bourne left and whoever came in and took it over probably wasn't doing the same type of job with it that he was, so they had no choice but to. Oh, it's not an evil clown anymore. We're gonna have to make it a fan-friendly kids clown now.
Kid clown.
So.
Then they brought on all the little clowns, Dink, Pink, Ink.
Doink.
Didn't they actually have a Survivor Series team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Against Lawler.
Yeah.
Against Lawler's, what was the name of his team?
King's Court or something?
King's Court, nice. There's another little trivia, is Survivor Series team names.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
I don't remember what his little guys were called, though. I don't remember.
I think they were like Sleazy, Wheezy.
Yeah, you're right. They were. Yeah.
Something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was another one that wouldn't fly today. He was just belittling them.
Yeah. Or, Little Beaver being body slammed and elbow dropped by King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
Would not fly. Maybe it would. Who knows? Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah.
There's an interesting one. Because that is that gimmick has repeatedly been approached throughout the years. Kind of the hillbilly, not necessarily redneck, but just like a hillbilly guy from the mountains, and either big and friendly or mean and nasty. But even to the point where you could argue that the Wyatts are an extension of that.
Right.
More of an Everglades or Bayou, creepy True Detective version. But if you were to look at Hillbilly Jim beside Luke Harper,
not much of a difference.
Not much of a difference. Yeah.
Never thought about it like that. It's a good way to look at it.
I just blew your mind.
Yeah, but there's only so many characters really that you can do. So yeah, updating and bringing them up to speed is so, and especially nowadays too, where like back in the day too, we're talking about gimmicks, and for the most part it was Saturday morning wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So now it's mainstream. It's on primetime television, Monday nights, Tuesday nights. So you have to change your audience, and gear towards your audience, and so more reality based. Those kids aren't staying up, till 11 o'clock at night. That we're watching Saturday morning. So you have to gear more towards your audience, and the more realistic characters that you see nowadays, or even people with their real names or real like names, are kind of more at the forefront.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree with you there, Birdman.
But that's why a thing like the Wyatts works, because it's that type of character, but because of the way that he talks, the way that it's presented, there is still a it's not so much a character as a real person that's just not maybe all there. And you can hear that guy mowing the lawn across the street, can't you?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Man, we gotta move you out in the country.
I know. With Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah. See, maybe the Wyatt compound across the street.
Or
I guess I picture them they don't live across the street. I think they live across the swamp from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no streets around them.
No.
From the rest of the alligators.
Maybe we should end on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I don't know where else we go after that. That was a packed show, Jay. That was...
It was packed, and I'll tell you what I took from that is that you are living a bad gimmick.
I'm living in a bad gimmick? I think my
You just
gimmick's
are a
pretty
bad
good
gimmick.
right now. I am a bad gimmick.
Yeah,
like
you are a
Adam
bad gimmick.
Copeland is a bad gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to change it up.
Yeah? Well, I think Birdman's a worse gimmick.
No, it's not. You should change yours to Wolf Boy Deluxe.
I would totally do that.
Just grow your facial hair up to your eyeballs.
I can't do that, but if I could, one of those Mexican wolf boys.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But
Hello.
anyway, we rambled on enough today.
We talked a lot about gimmicks. But on a different note, on a somber note, woke up to the news that Chris Cornell, lead singer of Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, Audio Slave, as well as his solo stuff, passed away.
Yeah.
Which was, that one, I don't know, that hit me. He's 52 years old, 2 kids, it just, don't know how. I'm not going to get into the hows or the whys or anything like that. All I can speak to is the fact that his music, his lyrics, Soundgarden's music, Temple of the Dog's music, really, really resonated with me. And I don't know, I woke up and that it seriously bummed me out because he's one of the voices of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
He's our Robert Plant. He's however you want to look at it, but he is one of those voices that was, at least for me, throughout my, teenagehood to adulthood, up until now. So it's very, I don't know, it's just strange when people like that leave us.
I think when it kind of, it shocks you, right? That happens a lot, but haven't thought of him specifically for a long time, but yeah, when you hear it, you're like, oh wow. And his music is, like I said, it's been a part of my life also since I was a teenager. I remember the one summer when Temple of Dog album was out, that was like I listened to that CD nonstop all summer long. And that was the album that I listened to in the car and wherever I had a chance to listen to it. And yeah, very recognizable voice, amazing musician. And yeah, it really caught me off guard, and yeah, it's kind of bums you out,
we used to come out to My Wave.
Yep.
We used to come out to Soundgarden, so they were, I know they were big for us, and still are. But Hunger Strike and the Temple of the Dog album. I just saw Temple of the Dog in concert in Seattle on this last 25th anniversary tour they did, and I'm so thankful now. I was then, I was totally geeked out. Beth got me the tickets and everything, and just to be in the Paramount Theater there, sold out in Seattle, and I'd never seen Chris Cornell live. So, he opens his mouth and it's just like, whoa, wow, okay, yeah, it's that voice, that voice that just sparks so many things for so many people. So it's sad that it's gone, but all you can say is rest in power, and wish the best to his family. Going forward, there's no good way to, deal with those type of things. It just sucks.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and Godspeed, Chris Cornell. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the talk about the gimmicks, the bad gimmicks. For the
enjoyed the hockey talk with JR, Jeremy Roenick.
And here for little Tommy.
You can follow JR on at Jeremy_Roenick on the Twitter.
And, of course, Tommy Dreamer at The Tommy Dreamer. And you can follow us at ENCPod. And you can send us an email at ENCPodOfAwesomeness@gmail.com.
I know, but I was EC Pod of Awesomeness.
I know, that's what I said.
No, you didn't.
I said ECPodOfAwesomeness@gmail.com. That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
I'm pretty
You said
sure I did.
ENC Pod of Awesomeness, guaranteed. I just
You're
listened
wrong.
to it.
You're wrong.
Mega Matt, would you like to chime in?
You did say ENC. It's ecpodofawesomeness@gmail.com.
That's what I just said. You're fired.
So it's ecpodofawesomeness@gmail.com. And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. Maybe there's a Google Play too. And
There
you
might
could
be.
listen to us on Google Play. I don't know. But I know there's a Google Play and you can listen to us on that.
All right. Well, till next week.
Well, I want to thank ZipRecruiter. Because
That's right.
without them, there's no show.
Right. And without the 5-second hosers, there's really no show.
That's the biggest. Now that we've revealed that you are 5-second hosers, just know, without you hosers, there's no show. So thank you. And next week, Anatomy of a Match. Mick Foley, Mankind versus Shawn Michaels from In Your House, Mind Games. We're going to pull it apart. We're going to dissect it and get into it, yo.
I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome. See you guys next week.
See you.